I'm Andy Ward. This summer I'm following the Oregon Trail across America. Right now I'm here in Wyoming. I'm making history real by visiting places where events actually took place. So come with me as I explore the Oregon Trail across Wyoming this summer. Today I'm in Fort Laramie, Wyoming. This is a very important stopover on the Oregon Trail where they could get resupplied, they could get repairs made to their wagons, that sort of thing. Unlike Fort Kearney, where I was a few days ago, this is run by the U.S. Park Service and it's really well maintained. A lot of these buildings are kept in pristine condition. Some of them are in ruins, as you can see, but some of them are really well cared for. And they have them all set up as they would have been back in the day. Barracks have cots in them with all the soldiers' gear laid out. The place where the trading post full of supplies that they would have used back in those days. Mess hall set up with tables, plates, cups, everything that they would have needed. So it's really easy to get an idea of what a soldier's life would have been like here at Fort Laramie. It's a neat place to visit and a lot of history here. And all of the Oregon Trail traffic, whether you were on the Mormon Trail, the Oregon Trail, California Trail, probably all of them would have stopped here because it was such a major resupply point. And the soldiers that worked out of here were patrolling the trail and basically keeping it safe for the settlers. So really important place, definitely worth a visit. The museum is closed because of the pandemic, but there's still a lot to see here. And there's no admission.
He doesn't want to see a war break out, because if a war breaks out, you don't have the immigrants coming into the fort, you don't have the Plains Indians in here trading the fort. So he's kind of like trying to keep the peace. So the only time the Army really went after what they considered hostiles, if a wagon train happened to be, what they felt was under attack. And again, there was very few skirmishes, and usually skirmishes only lasted maybe 10 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know.
Here we are in some ruts above Fort Laramie. Look at how deep they are. Look at me. Isn't that crazy? Waist high. And these people had to travel up this. Some people even took a smaller, less traveled road over there. I don't know if it was any better. But this right here looks like it would break the wagon apart, don't you think? Anyway, they had it a lot harder than we did. We can be glad that we have cars.
I'm up here at the top of Prospect Hill. This is the section of the Oregon Trail that cuts between the North Platte River and the Sweetwater River. So they had, I don't know, 2 or 3 days, something like that, across this dry, desolate country. You can see it's pretty dried up. The stuff I was reading said a lot of animals died on this stretch because there wasn't enough food for them. But up here, you've got a really great view. They were coming out of near Casper, that direction, and they're heading off towards the Sweetwater in this direction, and they had to climb this big old hill. So that's quite an accomplishment, honestly, and pretty bleak. Like I said, it's pretty bleak country. I made it to Independence Rock. This is an important trail landmark for a couple of reasons. One, hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of pioneers carved or painted their names on this rock, and these can still be seen today. But beyond that, it was an important trail landmark. It kind of set what is considered roughly the middle of the trail, the halfway point. Also, it kind of says, if you reach this point by July 4th, then you're sure to get across, or you're likely to get across the mountains before the first snow falls. So it's kind of a way to judge your progress so far. If you get here maybe a couple weeks, say the middle of July, then you might say, we got to hurry along, or we may get stuck on this side of the mountains when the snow flies. Or if you get here by July 4th, or maybe before, then you know you're making good time and you're doing all right. Anyway, it's a fascinating place. It's a historic park managed by the state of Wyoming, and it's just a big monolith. They actually let you climb it if you want, which is cool. And then this portion here on the northwest side of the rock, they have a fence around, because that's where most of the historic inscriptions are, and they don't want people messing with them. The ones that we saw yesterday at Register Cliffs, the inscriptions we saw yesterday at Register Cliffs, a lot of the historic ones were marred by more modern graffiti. So it's nice that they have these fences to protect the more historic areas and inscriptions from knuckleheads who are going to carve their name on it one way or the other. The other side of the rock where there's not a fence, I saw quite a few inscriptions that dated to 70s, 80s, more recent times. It's very hot out here. It's in the 90s today, which is pretty hot for Wyoming. I left Arizona with the hopes of finding cooler weather in Wyoming, and it wasn't in the cards.
Hi guys, we're out here on the Oregon Trail, and I'm here to show you the Devil's Gate. The Devil's Gate here. This was mentioned in many of the diaries and the memoirs of people who traveled the trail. It's a very unique spot. Now, they didn't actually go through this gate. They went around the other side over there. That would probably be really easy to be attacked by Indians if you were trucking through that. So it's probably not the best option. And it's probably pretty rocky, though I don't know since I haven't actually walked over there. If you come this way, closer, you hear the little brook here. It's very peaceful.
Today is my 10th day of traveling the Oregon Trail. After 10 days from starting out in Independence, Missouri, I finally made the Continental Divide. That's it, right here, South Pass. Literally. If rain falls over there, it flows into the Atlantic. Rain falls over here, it flows into the Pacific. It's that simple. Right here, this is where the pioneers, or mini pioneers, crossed the Continental Divide. And look over here. There's a monument to Narcissa Whitman and Elizabeth Spaulding, who were the first white women to cross the Continental Divide. And here is the monument that Ezra Meeker put up in 1906. And interesting, I was at Independence Rock day before yesterday and saw Ezra Meeker's carving on Independence Rock. It says exactly the same thing. Old Oregon Trail, 1845 to 57. But this is it. This is South Pass. There's wagon ruts here. There's swales. And this is the big epic thing. When they get here, then you're on the Pacific side. You know, the next won't be too many days, and you'll be crossing the Snake River in Idaho. So this is the big thing. Once you've crossed over, you're on the Oregon side. So that's pretty exciting for the pioneers to come through here. And the fun thing about coming up here is the road that runs up to South Pass, it literally is the Oregon Trail. So this road here that I drove up earlier, this is literally right in the ruts of the Oregon Trail. So it's fun to drive up here. It's a little bit of off-roading. You need a pickup truck or something, or an SUV to get up here, but definitely worth seeking it out and driving up here if you want to experience the real Oregon Trail experience.
I'm headed to California.
Today I'm here at Fort Bridger. This is a reproduction of the old log stockade that would have been here in the early days of the Oregon Trail. Say, I think up until 1853, something like that. So it's a reproduction, but it's pretty believable. Got some neat log buildings. Got a log stockade. It's worth checking out. This is the non-stockaded military Fort Bridger, which is built along the same plans as like Fort Laramie, Fort Kearney. No wall around it. It's a clustering of buildings around a central parade ground. And a lot of the buildings are not here. They were torn down or rotted in place, and they're marked where the buildings are, say different barracks and such. But they do have a lot of buildings that are still here. So it's a very neat museum. It's definitely worth visiting. And a lot of the houses are furnished with period furniture and clothes and things that you can see kind of laid out. So definitely a good place to come to get an idea of what life was like back then. Now I started this Wyoming video at Fort Laramie, so it seems appropriate that I finish it at Fort Bridger. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up my Oregon Trail across Wyoming video. If you've been enjoying my videos, hit the subscribe button so you know when the next video comes out. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up so I know it means something to you, and it helps me know I can make more videos like this. Thanks for watching.